I just got my undergrad in computer science. So my responsibility in the mission dealt with in the project dealt with mission level autonomy. Maybe before I talk about that, I'll explain a little bit more about what the mission was. So when we were given our initial requirements, the sort of data collection mission we were given was very open-ended. We were sort of given the ability to define our own mission. So we decided to go with a model where you would have a UAV that would receive GPS coordinates of lightning strikes, probably in like a forested area. And then the UAV would fly out and check those areas to see if there were fires. So I say that by way of explanation because one of the first things that we decided to do was to generate the GPS points, which would simulate the ones we received that were lightning strikes. We decided to simulate those by taking the home location of the UAV and then along with an additional parameter, which was distance, then generate other GPS points. Here we go. So what we ended up with was something similar to this, and I'll give you a little bit of explanation of what's going on here. So this starting area here would have been the UAV's home location. So using the algorithm that Lindsay and I developed, we were able to take this GPS coordinate and find these other ones over here, which defines a single quadrant. So the distance parameter I mentioned earlier was the distance of this circular thing, which is a geofence. So for those of you who don't know, a geofence is sort of a virtual fence you place on a geographic area that kind of limits where your UAV can fly to. It's a safety measure to stop runaway UAVs. So one of the reasons we sort of developed the algorithm this way was so that we would know that our UAV would always be flying within this geofence. So like I said, it was an additional safety measure. So this video here is a software-in-the-loop simulation of the copter flying the full four quadrants. So once we did that, the next step for me was starting to write the flight level logic, as well as some different monitoring type functionality. So I had a battery monitor and a mission monitor, and combining those three, I was able to create a sort of, I just blanked on the word, state machine. There you go. I created a kind of state machine that basically had three states that related to the mission that the copter was flying. So you had first mission, mission interrupted, or basically mission complete. So first mission would be when you just fire up the copter, it gets its GPS coordinates, and it heads off on its merry way. The next state would be mission interrupted, which would occur when, after reaching some waypoints, it got a warning that the battery was low. So this would trigger a sequence of events that would cause the copter to save the unreached waypoints, return to our base, and land and recharge. And then mission complete is just if the copter had reached all of the waypoints without receiving a low battery warning, then it would just fly back, land, do whatever recharging was necessary, and then dump the data. So that's a very high-level overview of the sort of, autonomy side, the flight-level autonomy. And so next we have Brad, who's going to be talking about the data acquisition system.